5:33 and 43 seconds according to my atomic clock. Pledge of Allegiance. I will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Linda.
James Randall,
Here.
Dr. Brian Cherry,
Here.
Kristen Cambenzi.
Here.
James Hewitt.
Here.
Glenn Sarka,
Here.
Jennifer Klipp,
Here.
Jennifer Ray,
Here.
All right. The motion to approve the agenda presented unless there's any changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
All second since Dr. Cherry's background has changed.
I said I had up my game for you since you called that out last time.
We have a motion to approve the agenda. Any discussion, any additions? None. Roll call vote.
James Randall,
Yes.
Dr. Brian Cherry,
Yes.
Kristen Cambenzi,
Yes.
James Hewitt,
Yes.
Glenn Sarka,
Yes.
Jennifer Klipp,
Yes.
Jennifer Ray,
Yes.
Okay. Superintendent's report. Bid number 5.
I'd like to start out first by saying thank you to our school board members. January is School Board Appreciation Month, so I thank each and every one of you for your service. As you guys know, I'm not quite used to the Zoom thing. Traditionally, we're at a school board meeting in the high school library. We have a few folks at least in attendance, especially for School Board Appreciation Month. We usually draw a full house. A few hundred people would be there to recognize you. And at that point, I would walk up to the podium and read my my little recognition letter here. So I'm sure we have a few hundred tuning in on our YouTube channel. So I'm still going to read this and put you guys through it, although we're on Zoom. So bear with me here for just a minute. Marquette Area Public Schools is joining 544 local and 57 intermediate school districts across Michigan to celebrate January as School Board Recognition Month. In a year full of challenges for public education not seen in recent history, our school board members persevered through the adversity of 2020 to provide the best possible education for our students. We would like to sincerely thank them for all that they do. Our current board members are Jamie Randall, President, Dr. Brian Cherry, Vice President, Kristen Cambenzi, Secretary Treasurer, James Hewitt, Trustee, Glenn Sarka, Trustee, Jennifer Klipp, Trustee, and Jennifer Ray, Trustee. Also serving in 2020 were Rich Rossway, serving as School Board President, and who served on the MAPS School Board for 21 years. Keith Glendon, who served on the MAPS School Board for over 2 years, and Michael Kohler, who served on the MAPS School Board for over 7 years. School board members represent the views and priorities of their community in the complex system of maintaining and running a district's public schools. They also reinforce the principle of local control over public education, which is an important, highly valued aspect of education in Michigan. Too often, the efforts of school board members go unrecognized. The school board's main goal is to support student achievement. To achieve that goal, the board focuses on the following needs: creating a vision for what parents and citizens want their school district to become and how to make a student achievement the top priority. Setting standards for what students must learn and be able to do. Assessing whether schools achieve their goals and whether students are learning. Accounting for the outcomes of decisions and by tracking progress and reporting results. Aligning the use of the district's human and financial resources. Creating a safe and orderly climate where students can learn and teachers can teach. collaborating to solve common problems and to support common successes, focusing on continuous improvement by questioning, examining, revising, refining, and revisiting issues related to student achievement. Even though January is School Board Recognition Month, we recognize their contributions reflect a year-round effort on their part. No matter what challenges lie ahead for our district in 2021, our school board members will continue to govern to improve student achievement and provide exceptional education for our community's children. Thanks to our school board members for your service. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next piece that I wanted to cover real quick. I know I sent you guys an update. I've sent an update to our teachers and to, well, all MAP staff, I should say, not just our teachers, and to our parents. And that's the vaccination plan moving forward. As you guys are aware, we got notice late. I shouldn't say late, mid-afternoon on Friday of the next round of vaccinations. So I certainly want to thank UPHS Marquette, Gar Atchison for doing everything that they can to help organize and see that those MAPS employees that desire to be vaccinated have the opportunity sooner than later. As we all know, we qualify under the 1B. We have a lot of staff that are working daily with large groups of folks. And I think it's imperative that if they desire to get vaccinated, in order for us to maintain a healthy face-to-face climate, that we provide that opportunity sooner than later. So the next available date for us to get the majority of our staff vaccinated is this upcoming Thursday, January 28th. So I have moved to make January 28th an online learning day. As of right now, we'll have 180 staff members get vaccinated this Thursday. So a pretty substantial number. Moving forward, that will encompass most of everybody that's left. We'll certainly need a third round of vaccinations. We hire every day, as you guys know. With about 420 employees, we have folks in and out of our system all the time, whether that be substitutes, long-term substitutes, staff that elect to take other jobs, and we're filling those positions. So we'll certainly need more vaccinations as time goes, but this will get the majority of our folks in the first two vaccination cycles. So for the second dose, we've designated February 12th. That's group 1, round 2. And then for the folks that are being vaccinated this Thursday, group 2, their round 2 would take place on February 26th. So the nice thing is that several of these days, last Monday when we got our group 1, round 1 vaccination, happened to be a professional development day. So not too much of a disruption for parents who already were accustomed to having their kids home on that particular day. This Thursday proves to be the biggest day of interruption, where our face-to-face families certainly are going to have to find daycare or other means for their children on that day. We'll continue with online learning. We just won't have face-to-face instruction. And then February 12th and February 26th happen to be half days on our calendar. So we are moving those to online learning days, but again, not as disruptive, I'm hoping, because those are half days for our folks as it is. So that's the vaccination plan as it sits today. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but just wanted to get that out there again for the community and for everybody to understand what that schedule looks like moving forward. The next piece then that I have to report to you is the extended COVID-19 learning plan. We have to go through this. Well, actually, this piece is the new piece. This is the training on delivery, access, and use of virtual content for teachers, parents, and students. So this is part of that extended COVID-19. We were tasked to have this up on our website and posted by January 15th, which we did. It's about 4 or 5 pages. I should probably share with the public and certainly with our board, as you guys are aware. We have our transparency up on the front page of the district's website. Part of that transparency is we track the number of COVID cases that we've had throughout the school year, and we track day to day the number of students and staff that have COVID. So that's on our dashboard, and then we track all the mandatory paperwork, the COVID plans that we're required to in order to have face-to-face, hybrid, and online instruction. So the latest piece was to communicate with the public what that COVID-19 learning plan looks like in what we provided for professional development to our teachers from last summer through early January, and how we've actually communicated that with families as well. So it's about 6 pages. We break it down by K5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. We go through how those programs are offered, whether they be synchronous or asynchronous. And it's a combination of again, a great deal of professional development for teachers, and also a certain level of education that we provided parents in how to access and how things work. A lot of it is geared towards new curriculum, first-time curriculum that we've used, like our Michigan virtual curriculum for our high school students, especially those that are online learning. New curriculum for our elementary, using things like our journeys and our math expressions that we use more of the virtual components than what maybe we have in the past. And then new components that we purchased for this year at all levels, which was pretty substantial. So that's part of a 6-page document. I'm not going to read all that to you, but that can be found on our website under the COVID-19 reporting requirements, and also under Immunetrics on our website. Go ahead, Mr. Randall.
Do you have that up on your screen? Because you can share that. You can share that with the group, and the public can see it also.
I could. So just so you know, I have 2 screens going right now. I have my Zoom screen on my iPad for you guys, and I have that up on my Chromebook. So I can't share off my Chromebook to this computer. So I apologize. But the other document I'm going to share with you next is the 2-way interactions that we're required to report each month. We've gotten a lot better at tracking the 2-way interactions. And this is how many students we have in our buildings that are face-to-face, how many are hybrid, how many are 100% virtual, what those attendance rates are. And so I usually just kind of read through these pretty quick. Marquette Senior High School is at 586 kids face-to-face. Just looking to do a comparison since we first started to track this. That number has increased, but not substantially. They're up about 10 students face-to-face over when we first started to track this. Number of students that are online is at 185 kids, so that's down a little bit. And then the number of hybrid kids is 161 kids. We're somewhere between 98% for our hybrid students, about 100% for our online students, and a little over 99% for our face-to-face kids as far as the mandatory 2-way interactions that we need to track each week.
Bill, does it seem to be doing better with the online and hybrid compared to, or the number of kids who are taking online classes, or is everybody getting a better handle of it from the student standpoint and from the faculty standpoint? Or do we know yet?
Well, certainly our teachers have a much better handle of that. I think the students have a really good handle of that right now. Now, I'm not going to equate that to say that we have a lot more success happening either. I'd have to call on John Young to come in and give you a report on what that success rate looks like. the end of the semester was Friday, so I'll bring him in next month to kind of give us an update of where our students
yeah, that'd
stand
be-
on that issue.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see some improvement over the last.
Yeah,
Time
and I
we-
hope so too. One of the things we've done, and I know we're getting off a little bit, but that's good that we're having this dialogue. The high school's hired 2 part-time counselors to help interact with those kids that are struggling, to reach out to them. And again, we're talking primarily our online students, trying to make those connections. We're also part of, and of course, as soon as you bring it up, it fails me. Part of a state pilot program, grant program that helps us track and reach out to students that aren't having success. So we had 386, I think, slots, 380 some slots that we're able to plug struggling math learners into. And this company helps reach out to those kids, make the connections, making sure that they're checking in, doing their homework, just helping us make that contact with folks. The biggest thing without having face-to-face education is really making those connections, and that's where it's easy for folks to get a little sideways in, hey, I haven't checked in, I haven't been doing my homework in a while, and trying to make that connection. I know our teachers desperately reach out to students to try to make that connection, but when you have 150, 170, 180 kids on your caseload, it makes it tough to continue. So we continue to search for new ways to make those connections with kids, and also make the teaching and learning as meaningful as we can on these virtual days. So I'm going to continue to go through the numbers. Marquette Alternative High School, number of kids that they have face to face. Again, I'm going to go back to mid-November. They were at 93. They're up to 116. So that's a pretty substantial increase in students that are now face to face. Number of online students has decreased from 40 down to 32, and he's had no hybrid students since the beginning of the year. They've been all either 100% virtual or face to face. His 2A interaction rates for his online students are at 100% interaction rates with his face-to-face students, a little over 92%. Bothwell is where we see the biggest change. Total number of face-to-face students, again, from about mid-November to now, they were at 502 in mid-November. They're up to 579 students face-to-face. So that's a pretty substantial increase in the number of students that have come back. 2-way interaction rate for those students is about 97%. Total number of online students, as you can imagine, is then just kind of flip-flops. So they were at 168 online students back in middle of November, down to 115 online students as of this reporting period. Hybrid students went from 46 down to 36. They're at 100% 2-way interaction rate with their hybrid students, and a little over 97% with their online students. We get into the elementaries. Again, we've seen some increases in students that are coming back to us. Cherry Creek, mid-November, we're about 290 kids face-to-face. They're up to 311 kids face-to-face. Online students, they were at 79. They're down to 60 online students. And hybrid students have stayed the same at 18. They're about 100%. Well, they are 100%. They're at 100% with their hybrid students, 100% with their online students, a little over 90% with their face-to-face students. Sorry about that. Did you guys hear my ringtone on my phone going off there?
No.
Oh. It was a celebration for the Detroit Lions, so
Hey, all right.
We didn't have many of those during the season, so I get reminded every time somebody calls me. Graverette. Their numbers have been pretty consistent. Haven't changed a whole lot. So mid-November, they had 236 face-to-face students. They're up to 239 face-to-face. Online students, 43 in mid-November. They're down to 38 online students. And total number of hybrid students, they've kind of been between 11 and 12 most of the year. They're at 12 currently. 100% two-way interaction with their face-to-face students, 100% two-way interaction with their hybrid students, and only 78% interaction rate with their online students. So that's a number that kind of jumps out a little bit compared to most of the others that I'm seeing. Sandy Knoll. 272 in mid-November face-to-face. They're up to 289. So again, seen quite a few kids come back there for face-to-face learning. Total number of online was at 91 in mid-November. It's down to 74. And their hybrid students have stayed pretty even at about 13. Face-to-face students, about 98% two-way interaction rate, almost 99%. 93% with their online learners and 100% with their hybrid students. And the last school to report is Superior Hills. 272 face-to-face in mid-November. They're at 290. So again, quite a few students who've come back for face-to-face learning. Online students were at 63 in mid-November, at 46 now. So that number's dropped. And their hybrid students were at 12. They're down to 8 hybrid students. Attendance, 99.66%, two-way interaction rate for face-to-face, 100% for their online, and 100% for their hybrid. And I think that's all I have for you tonight, unless you guys have questions for me, certainly.
Anybody have any questions?
Do we track the reason why people are going from online to hybrid or online to face-to-face? Do we ask why they're making that change?
That's a great question. We don't see too many move to hybrid. It would be unwise for me to answer that question not having the specifics. My gut would tell me that families are feeling a little bit safer, and that's why they feel like they can come back to face-to-face learning. I'll find out if we're asking those questions. I'm guessing we'd get various answers. I think that would probably be the predominant answer, but maybe they're struggling online and feel like it's better for them to come back face-to-face. It would be, yeah,
Sure.
I probably shouldn't answer that without actually having those facts in front of me. Those are just things that I would presume are reasons for making those changes.
It could be a parent's schedule issue, or it could, like you said, be
Absolutely.
that the kid is struggling online. But if we were able to track that, that might help us going forward, though hopefully we won't have to do that for too much longer.
And I think what another piece that sticks out for us is that most of this change has happened middle school on down, right? So the high school numbers were pretty similar. It's been our K-8 students where we've seen the biggest shift from online, or maybe even some hybrid going back to face-to-face. That's where we've seen the biggest shift is K-8.
Bill, I know you had a committee formed as well with some staff and administrators and talking about plans and how the year was going and kind of reassessing and making some new, potential plans and how to improve things. Any discussion at all on even that hypothetically, not saying that it's coming from us, but the possibility of eliminating like the hybrid option at some point during the year, try to make, families choose one way or another?
Yeah, one of the things we did, and again, I probably didn't communicate this very well with the board, is I did allow our administrators to, as they moved into the second semester, to essentially eliminate that option for new families. So those families that already chose hybrid, we allowed to stay grandfathered in, but any new families, we kind of said, hey, we need you to be virtual or we need you to be face to face, because we knew that was a little bit friendlier for what we've seen from the data and the educational practices that our teachers are preferring at this point. So taking that away from families that already have that set schedule, we've talked about that, but as we are also in the customer service business, we found it difficult to really force those families into making that choice after they've already done that for half the school year. So we really didn't visit it any further than that at this point. I think that's a good question. And again, I did bring it up at our K-12, even last meeting, not even our committee, but I want us to continue to stay focused on what's next. Potentially, once we get through the vaccination cycles and some of those things, I understand this isn't going away. I understand we're still going to have to be masked, that we still are going to have to keep social distance. But do we start to relax things a little bit? Are we going to get to a point where we feel comfortable going back to having a concert? Are we going to get comfortable to maybe allowing different groups to come in and use our buildings and do some of those things? And I think those are things that we're going to have to take a look at as we move forward. Good questions.
Okay, item number 6. City comments from the public, agenda items only. For those that hopefully know what the agenda items are. Is there anybody in the queue for agenda items only? Okay. All right, item number 7, approve the consent agenda. And some of this is the financial reports are on here. I would encourage, for the consent agenda, we usually approve this all in one shot. But you guys, the new board members, I encourage you to get with Deb Berry at some point, make an appointment with Deb to learn what some of this is, because it's it's a lot of what we do. So anyway, the consent agenda with the minutes of the reorganizational board meeting of January 18th, the personnel report dated January 2021, financial reports of December 2020, including the December receipts and disbursements, and the financial reports. Can I get a motion?
I will make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I would second.
Okay. That I heard, I think we have motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Linda?
James Randall,
Yes.
Dr. Brian Cherry,
Yes.
Kristen Kimbenzi,
Yes.
James Hewitt,
Yes.
Glenn Sarka,
Yes.
Jennifer Clip,
Yes.
Jennifer Ray,
Yes.
Okay, item number 8, new business. Excuse me? Somebody say something? Never mind. I thought I heard something. New business. Item A. You want to go into, Bill? Is this
Yeah,
something-
I can get into that. Or Deb, you want to? I don't want to steal any thunder from Deb. So we haven't heard from her in a couple meetings. So maybe we need to get her mic'd up again here.
Big topic here. We had been waiting on the ruling from the IRS to determine whether or not the healthcare contributions to ORS were federal and FICA tax exempt or whether they were taxable. We had in the interim put in protected claims, received the money back for those taxes, which would indicate the IRS were saying they were tax exempt, and refunded that to all the employees. DeWitt schools approached the IRS for a ruling letter and received one. And now, as part of the closing agreement of this, the IRS is asking for a closing agreement between the ORS, so Office of Retirement Services is working with the Internal Revenue Service to have this tax exemption considered, all agreed upon through this. However, districts across the state of Michigan need to sign over power of attorney to be part of this closing agreement, and having this attorney, I don't remember his name, Alan Wilk, sign off on our behalf that we're going to participate in a closing agreement. The benefit of doing this is that the Office of Retirement Services will pay the $3,000 filing fee to the IRS to have this letter determined as complete and final through 2026. That's the other part of it. So it's a short term, and during that time, every district, whether they sign on or not, will have to treat the healthcare contributions as this IRS ruling dictates.
Okay, is this
And-
just informational, or do you need a motion for this, Deb?
This needs a resolution. So this is an action item. We will need a motion, a second, and a vote.
Okay,
And just to be clear, this money was returned to our employees probably almost 2 years ago, Deb, that we did this. So it was all returned to our employees.
thanks. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion for the resolution to execute Form 2848.
So moved.
Motion by Brian Cherry. Anybody second?
I'll second the execution.
Any
Is this
discussion?
anything I have to potentially abstain from with my relationship to employee?
That's a good question.
I don't think I voted in the acceptance of the return of the money.
My opinion on this would be that because you are giving power of attorney to a third party to vote on this agreement between Office of Retirement Services and Internal Revenue Service, that this would not have a conflict of interest for you.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, take a roll call vote, Linda?
James Randall,
Yes.
Dr. Brian Cherry,
Yes.
Kristen Kembenzi,
Yes.
James Hewitt,
Yes.
Glenn Sarka,
Yes.
Jennifer Clip,
Yes.
Jennifer Ray,
Yes.
Okay, item number 9. This is our second comment from the public on any topic. So is there anybody in the queue, Ellie?
However, Mr. Randall, I do have 2 comments that were submitted that they would like read during this meeting. So I can go ahead and read them if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
First comment for the Monday meeting is from Ann Fisher. She says, "This will be short. First, I want to thank Superintendent Saunders for the detailed presentation on the parking lot plans at the last meeting. It's so satisfying to know that smart people are making thoughtful progress on this overdue project and great progress on the vaccinations. I'm delighted that so many staff are eager to take this step to protect themselves, our students, and our community. Second, I want to welcome our new board members. I know things got heated during the election, and I really appreciate their willingness to stay calm and focused on the important work the board has ahead. Finally, speaking of overdue projects, I want to encourage the board to move quickly to retire the Redmond and Redettes names. Since this topic was last discussed, professional teams in Washington and Cleveland have retired their native names, as have scores of other teams and districts throughout the country. The events of the last few months have shown us how much work we have to do to achieve real equality and to live up to the promise of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Retiring the nicknames won't get us there, but it will be a small step in the right direction. Let's take it. Submitted by Ann Hilton Fisher, MSHS class of 1966, Marquette resident and voter. I have another one to read. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The other comment from the public was received from Michael Joy of Marquette. He asked that this be read during tonight's meeting. To the members of the MAPS Board of Education, I would like to thank all of you for serving on the MAPS School Board. Your dedication to the community is obvious and much appreciated. I would also like to welcome the two newest members of the board who ran a very positive and forward-looking campaign in the fall. Quite frankly, the 6-year term length is daunting and may well keep good people from considering service on the board. Thank you all for making that commitment to the students, faculty, and staff of the Marquette schools. I would also like to ask that the issue of a new, more inclusive nickname for the high school be taken up at a board meeting in the not too distant future. In the 2 months before the pandemic hit last year, speakers at lengthy public comment periods provided plenty of evidence supporting the recommendation of the MSHS Nickname Research Committee. You'll recall that the committee recommended to the board back in December of 2019 that the nickname be changed. Since that time, even as the pandemic raged, schools, universities, and professional sports teams were able to make the decision to change their outdated and harmful nicknames. At the same time, issues of social and racial justice have appropriately come to the forefront all across the nation, while we look with hope to a more unified and optimistic future. Surely now is the time to respectfully retire our MSHS nickname and establish a process to create a new identity for our student athletes, artists, musicians, and scholars. I ask that the issue be placed on the board's agenda so that you have the opportunity to discuss this topic openly as a group of community leaders with an eye toward moving us forward toward positive change. Sincerely, Michael Joy, Marquette. And those were the only two comments we received.
Okay. Right, that's kind of a wrap. Board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Hewitt. Any comments, Jim? You're muted. Dr. Terry.
Oh, good job on running the meeting tonight, Jamie. You're really hitting your stride. Pretty impressed. I would also concur that having the two new board members talk with Deb and about budget stuff's always a good idea. She has really been a good solid rock to lean on when it comes to budget information. Not that Bill isn't, but Deb's more fun to talk to. Other than that, nothing else. Have a good night.
Okay. Flip.
Just again, thank you so much for being patient with me, and I think this job has become I'm a little more aware that the job is both more intimidating and less intimidating than I thought it was going to be. So again, just continued thank you, and to all of you for being patient. Excited to be here. Lots to learn still.
Jen Ray.
I'll reiterate same thing of just, I'm happy to be here. I'm learning lots and I appreciate it. And I look forward to meeting with maybe some one-on-one with some of the other board members to kind of get on the same page, and also definitely to meet with Deb. We'll be reaching out this week or, today, as well as been really appreciating the meetings with Bill. Definitely learning lots. So thank you.
Thank you. Kim Benzie.
No comment.
Okay. Board President's comments. Item number 11. I would just reiterate, since this is Board Appreciation Week, just want to say how much I've appreciated working with this board for the last 4 or 5 years, and before that, with when I sat in the audience as the only person out there. also with the new board members. Again, welcome, and thanks, Bill, for nice presentation, and Deb, as always, with your amazing knowledge. That's all I have.
Jamie, you
Mr.
forgot
Sargent.
Glenn.
Excuse me? Oh, Glenn, you were all blacked out.
Dr. Barry, as soon as you told him he had hit his stride, and I was going to point out you should never do that this soon, because he thinks he thinks he doesn't have room for improvement. So you haven't hit your stride yet, President. So just keep working. Jen Clip, you hide your fear very well. Just here's the thing: all the board members are there to help you along and help you understand things. There's also the educational programs you can get through get occasionally, and I think you already participated in one of those.
That's right.
So just don't be afraid to ask for help. No shame in that. So thank you, Board President Jamie, for recognizing me. I know I'm kind of fading in and out there, but I have a bad
you weren't
connection.
faded out. You had blacked out your picture. So I didn't,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And let's look forward to a productive new year. And I really look forward to seeing everybody in person in the not too distant future. And also to all our families who've been patient with COVID restrictions and with other issues. I really appreciate that. And also for the folks that make comments today, also thank you for staying engaged, because it's easy to kind of lose track of what's happening in our schools and look to other issues. And I'm glad they're staying engaged and paying attention. So thank you to everybody. And now I'm going to go black, Jamie, just so that you can.
Well, and Jen Ray, congratulations on for next Monday. We get to open your restaurant again.
It feels good. I think everybody's ready to get back to work and have some kind of a routine. So
I'm sure there's a lot of people who can't wait to get out of the house and
that too.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 12, announcements and other meetings. We just have one, February 22nd, 2021, the regular board meeting electronically at 5:30. Item 13, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we will skip the roll call, but we'll just say all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Sounds good. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks, Ellie. Thank you, Linda.